There's been a pattern of discrimination, and I think from what I've listened to, you want to clean it up today, right? You don't approve of what happened. Neither side approves of what's happened. I mean, we've seen the weaponization of the Justice Department against President Trump, the Department of Education, investigate religious affiliated universities, the DOJ and FBI targeted parents at school board meetings, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on and on, right? And I think we all want to clean it up, right? Would you agree with that?
Discrimination should never be tolerated.
100%. Appreciate that. Now there's a confirmed discrimination against conservatives at FEMA, right? So I just want to put up this timeline to make sure I have everything correct, right? October 22nd, verbal guidance was given by Ms. Washington to skip over, for lack of better words, Trump homes. Anybody that has a sign, a Trump sign. October 24th, the whistleblower comes forward. October 27th, the team's message that we've seen was sent out. 28th of October, the complaint received by FEMA's legal staff. And October 8th, God bless you, this story became public. And then on November 9th, you became aware of it and terminated her position, correct?
I think we're missing one step in there, Congresswoman. I was made aware of it on November 7th.
November 7th.
Is that, I can't see down below.
Yeah, it's not up here. November 7th. The story became public on the 8th and then on the 9th, right? I'm sure you had.
I was made aware of it on November 7th. I directed my team to get me additional information. They presented that to me on November 9th, which is when I directed the termination of the employee.
Thank you. Did Ms. Washington receive a severance package?
I would have to check. I don't know.
When could you get back to us? So you have no idea?
I do not know what the terms of her termination were.
Who would?
I would have to check with my mission support team.
Your mission support team. Okay. So who gave Ms. Washington the authority to give the verbal guidance?
I do not know what motivated Ms. Washington to give that guidance. The direction that she gave was unacceptable and did not align with the way we conduct our business to help the American people.
What was her title?
Crew lead.
Crew lead. And how many crew leads did you have?
We had several crew leads. I'd have to get back to you with a specific number, but it's one of the lowest levels of supervision we have.
So Ms. Washington had a supervisor?
Correct.
And maybe even a supervisor above that supervisor?
Correct.
Right? There may be layers upon layers. Okay. Why do you think she felt empowered to give that guidance?
I can't speak to what motivated her to give that guidance. What I can say is I was made aware of this on November 7th. It was not acceptable behavior. When I was given the written evidence of her direction on November 9th, we directed her termination.
Who is her supervisor?
I don't know specifically who her supervisor is. I know that there's this individual, Chad, that has in her supervisory chain, but I don't know if that was her specific supervisor.
Have you done an investigation on this since November 9th?
We are currently doing an investigation. It started on October 28th.
So as of October 28th, we've done a bunch of investigations, but we have no idea who her supervisor is.
No, I said I personally do not know who her specific supervisor is. I have an agency of over 22,000 employees. I don't know the supervisors.
And you have supervisors underneath you. Do you know if anything happened to her supervisor?
This is currently under investigation. The only written evidence we had is from Ms. Washington.
So we terminated Ms. Washington 3 weeks after you were made aware of it. Thank God that you were made aware of it, or this could pattern have continuously gone on, because we have layers upon layers, right? You have 22,000 people. I'm sure you have a lot of middle management, right? So you have a crew lead, you might have, I don't know what your hierarchical structure is, but you have layers of management before it gets to you, correct?
We follow a very...
That's a pretty simple question. Do you have layers of management before it gets to you?
A very,
That's a great answer.
Accepted chain of command practice.
Wonderful. So I'll use your word. You have a chain of command before it gets to you. But you have no clue about what's happened to that chain of command and why somebody would let that happen under their watch. Do you think that's worthy of investigating?
I absolutely think it's
Wonderful.
worthy
So
of
when can I
investigating, which
expect
is
a
why
report
I
on
have
what has
directed
happened
the
to those
IG
people?
to investigate this.
When can we expect that report? And what consequences would you expect for a supervisor who knew this was going on? Would you expect them to be terminated as well?
We have an ongoing investigation, and if we find any evidence that shows that there are additional violations of the way we conduct our business, we will certainly take appropriate action.
And would appropriate action be terminated?
To include
Termination?
termination.
Wonderful. And when can we expect this report?
And we've asked the IG to do this report, and I can connect with them.
Thank you.
Gentlelady yields back. Chair